Alright, let's do this. Well, Don't Be Scared to Go Outside is my third studio record. It's the first new album in almost 5 years. It's a follow-up to my 2021 record, At Night in the Dark. And if you've been listening to my records since I started putting them out in 2018, it's a continuation of the story that I've been trying to tell supporters from the very beginning. I remember in the recording process, my producer Joelten telling me, after we recorded the first 3 tracks, which was Other Side of the Bridge, Strangers Again, and If It Kills Me, Lucas said, all of your songs could really be summarized by 2 words: sad hope. And I love that so very much. And I feel like more so than any album I've ever made, I finally put my thumb on the pulse of my own sound for the first time. I feel like, in my earlier records, sometimes I would try to inhabit a character in my song and tell my story or their story in the song. And Lucas helped me to realize very early on that this record had me in it. In a significant way. People could feel that, and that's really the whole point of making music, is to connect with people and connect in your most authentic self. So I think that's what this record has really done the best, and the sonic journey that I think that you take when you listen to it from top to bottom with that sequence is hopefully you can find yourself in them. It's not really about hearing me, it's about feeling that it really is me in it, but it's about finding your own ways to connect to the music.
Hello, my name is Joelten. I worked as the producer, main arranger, and instrumentalist in Taylor's debut solo album titled Don't Be Scared to Go Outside. The process was truly an evolving thing. My earliest memory of it all is him flying to Ohio to meet me at the studio, a recently built studio in Bowling Green. I think he came for 5 days or so. Basically, in those 5 days, we took care of 3 songs, almost entirely. Went from him showing me the tunes on his acoustic guitar to us just mapping out entire compositions. Also, I guess by sheer luck, kind of striking on an aesthetic. The fact that we came from different places musically, but also kind of did not, and met in this genre and in this sort of sonic aesthetic, and from then effectively decided to explore that world.
Don't Be Scared to Go Outside, I think it's quite a story, because Taylor is one of those composers that likes to tell stories. I think we were 3, Taylor, Lucas, and I, like the main ones. Taylor told me when we first started talking that he likes to write stories, tell stories, and he's very personal about it. He writes about what he's been through, super personal, but in the same way, it's like universal. Like anyone can connect or find themselves in the songs. I think Taylor writes very intimate. He writes to heal himself and maybe heal others through his songs. It's kind of alchemy, like we all do. I think through art and music, or any kind of art, you can heal yourself and help others in the meantime.
Well, I feel like at this point, if you're still making records, which I've been doing for almost 10 years, I have to have something that's really, truthfully, and desperately eating at me. And that's exactly what this album was doing from the very beginning. From the first line I wrote for Other Side of the Bridge, we laughed until our stomachs hurt with our favorite bands on our t-shirts and winter nights and sleeping in your car. It's like a revelation, like, on the beginning of a journey somewhere. I don't know where it's going or what the end looks like or even what the middle looks like, but I know that it starts right here. That's sort of the inclination that I get when I know, okay, it's time for a new album. One is dying to get out of me, and that's exactly from the very beginning of the album, that's what this one did.
Strangers Again, If It Kills Me, and Other Side of the Bridge were the first 3 that we did. It was a long time until we got to work on the other ones. But I think those three really gave us, or catapulted us into what would feel like the album, even in the very beginning. So to me, the process was an evolving thing, and also divided into parts. That's the first part of the first chapter.
I think that the sonic journey that we all end up delivering, it's kind of, well, of course there's some folk, there's some country, but it's like super raw and intimate. I think that we all three were in the same page regarding not trying to make everything sound perfect. Like, the imperfections are there, to let them be, and this is what it is, this is who Taylor is. To believe that the music, it's not about perfection, it's about who we are and what we feel and what we share, and that's pretty much it.
It was November 2022 when I began the early process of recording the Don't Be Scared to Go Outside album. I flew up to Ohio to meet up with Lucas at Elekwnt Records, and we recorded the first 3 songs that were in my notebook for the album, which was Other Side of the Bridge, If It Kills Me, and Strangers Again. And immediately after hearing what those songs sounded like recorded, I was like, oh, I have a much bigger album on my hands than I realize I do. And also, I don't just have a couple singles, I have songs that are leading way for other songs. You can just feel that in a big way when you're going through that process. I know I already had Coming Home, and I had Simple All the Time and God Dance, but those songs, for one reason or another, were not completely finished. Maybe missing some lyrics here, or a melody tie-up, or a bridge that needed to come that wasn't there. But I knew that the 3 songs that I had recorded, and the other 3 or 4, I'm like, oh, I'm missing a couple, and these songs will inform these songs. I've been to that feeling before, but never more powerfully than recording this studio with Lucas. It's one of the great things that was brought out in this process, is letting me know what I had just from what we recorded from the very beginning.
And then the second chapter was just mainly the remote sessions that we did. And that would look like Taylor sending me tracks on his acoustic guitar with some vocal reference, and then me kind of like blowing those out by adding stuff and talking to Taylor extensively about what he was thinking and feeling, and then me throwing options at him with a complete disregard for his potential rejection of these ideas. I think that was very important from the beginning, just expressing how important it was for me to just be the kind of guy that could just throw ideas, and then for the artist to decide what they want to do and what feels best.
Working with Lucas was pretty interesting. We've been working with his songs and with Angelica's songs, so we knew each other a bit before Taylor came to my life. Besides, we're both Argentinian, so we share that communication style and mentality that helped a lot. Yes, I think and I believe it's quite an emotional album. Very intimate, personal, but universal, very raw.
Well, I feel like a musician is blessed beyond measure if at even one point in his or her career that they have the connection and the chemistry with another musician like I've had with my producer Lucas Joelten from the very get-go. I mean, Lucas is brilliant in music for so many reasons, not only as a fantastic musician himself, but as a producer, as an arranger, as an ideas man. I mean, Lucas is truly one of a kind. The album wouldn't sound the way that it does without him. I mean, I remember early on in the recording process, I had sort of this stripped down, almost lo-fi, one-man presentation of how I wanted to do the album. And after recording the first 3 tracks, Lucas said to me, these songs could have such a bigger life if you allow them. So with minor trepidation, I proceeded forward with attempting to let the songs live in a much bigger way. And that was really just because I had so much and have so much faith in Lucas. He never gets in the way. It's probably his greatest attribute in the studio, is he doesn't get in the way of your song and your idea for the song. But if he feels like that song could have a much bigger life, then that's what he's going to recommend and suggest. But he's not connected to the ideas in a way that if you turn them down that he's hurt by that or anything. He just simply cares about the songs in such a big way. He's a songs guy. He believes that the song is first and foremost, and he never wants to step in the way of that. And I think that you hear that on the album in such a significant way, is you hear him not stepping in the way of the song, but you hear him blowing the songs up to a much bigger life than they would have had if I would have produced the thing on my own.
This album means a lot to me because, well, personally, it just kind of like put me on a trip. It was my way to connect or bridge perhaps my blues roots, my training in the blues, my love for the blues, and to kind of be able to pour or funnel all that energy into more of a rootsy, folksy, Americana, singer-songwriter sort of world. I discovered things in me as I discovered Taylor's music as a solo artist. At the time, he was working also a lot with his band, and these felt like two different incarnations. And so I was given license to pretty much tap into this kind of like newly invoked channel that Taylor had through his solo work, and therefore all these other colors that he hadn't used, I felt like. So there's sensibilities from all kinds of different places. I try to add some of my favorite people, anything from Eric Clapton to J.J. Cale to Ry Cooder, John Mayer, Jackson Browne, Bonnie Raitt. I mean, it's all there in sort of different places. I think we invariably, just because of how close we stayed, how our finger was always on the pulse of the album's sort of essence, I think that its heartbeat kind of like really helped us move in the right direction.
Well, the mixing and mastering process was at first challenging, as I think it's every project, because with Lucas it happened. The first song he sent me and I sent the first mix was I hate it. And it was like, okay, a process to get to know each other, one another, and understand not only the story behind every song, because I asked Taylor, like, tell me the story behind this song, because I want to know what you're saying, what you're trying to communicate, because even if I'm doing something technical, I would like to know the meaning of the song and what it means to you. That helped me to know, for example, if you want to build some epic moment with reverbs and stuff, you can make it more epic or more emotional. But yeah, I think at first it's always challenging, but then as the songs start to unravel and I get to know Taylor's taste, what he likes to listen, and working with Lucas as well, because I know how Lucas like to record his acoustic guitar, his electric guitars, so I know what I'm getting. That helped. At some point the songs almost mixed themselves. It's like sometimes when I get to a sound that I really like, for example acoustic guitar or Taylor's vocals, I try to use the same compressors, the same template for starters, and then each song demands something different, so I get to tweak them specifically. I think it was a nice challenge.
Yeah, Juani is definitely the king of patience, because I know for sure during the mixing and mastering process that Lucas and I pushed that patience all the way to the ends of the world, and even then Juani stayed patient, and it's really the thing that I'm most grateful for about working with him on the entire Don't Be Scared to Go Outside album is he's a great mixing and mastering guy, but even more so than that, the sensibility of an engineer to say, hey, I want the song to sound like how you want it to sound, that feels most true to you. That's an irreplaceable process in making an album, and I don't think the album comes out the way it does without that role being played. So I'm very, very grateful to Juani for that.
I think the product speaks for itself. There's a very cohesive compilation of songs there, and I'm very proud of them. If I had to pick favorites, I think on different ends of the spectrum I would go with God's Tears, it being a more intimate kind of wistful tune. I worked really hard on the arrangement, the guitar arrangement for that tune, and I really love it. I think it's just pretty astounding how simple and how beautiful it is. just great lyrics, which those two, of course, go well together. And then on the other end, If It Kills Me, I think just, to me, feels really good because of, I just remember how it came out and how it all kind of came to be. Those two are the ones I think kind of show you also the range, which is not a small thing.
I think Coming Home, it's kind of something like, yeah, like returning, like coming home to yourself. It's like super personal, and I think all of the songs that Taylor wrote are quite personal, but Coming Home has something that just touched me. I don't know how to explain it. I have lots of favorites. God's Years, As Long As You're Here. I think As Long As You're Here is the other one. My favorites, yeah, it's like super pure. It just hits home, you know? I think all the songs have something in common and different energies, but they're super deep and personal, profound. Yeah, I think those two are my favorites.
I think it's much tougher on this record to, pick the favorites because I think the last record was written with some songs that stood out more than others. I think this record, the songs work in cohesion with one another. But if I'm put on the spot, the ones that come to my mind in a big way is As Long As You're Here is really, really important to me, and in a big way, God's Ears is really, really important to me. It's a song that sort of came from inspiration from a conversation, something my mother had said over the years about from your mouth to God's ears, and I always knew I wanted to put that in a song. But that doesn't mean it'll end up in a song. But naturally, it sort of came together on this album in a big way. So they all have little stories for me like that. The process that we went through to record those first 3 songs in person together, Lucas and I, with Strangers Again and Other Side of the Bridge and If It Kills Me, that makes those unique in a certain respect. And I also think that, the closing track on the record, Later Never Comes, that that song is such a strong closer, and it wouldn't be as big as it is if not for the spot that it's in the sequencing. So I have different reasons why I love them all. Obviously that used out phrase, the songs are like my children. More and more so on this album I start to understand that because I have a deep connection to all of them.
It's one of those albums, and you hear this a lot when you talk about Elekwnt Records or folk records, but it's one of those albums that you can just play while you're driving down the road, and they just fit in perfectly.
Don't Be Scared to Go Outside talks about fear, courage, redemption. It goes out to that feeling that we all share universally as humans. We all have that desire to heal, fear of taking the first step. This album, I think, it also confirms that life is out there and it's up to you to go out and live it.
It's really amazing, because I feel like I've been writing my entire life. I've been a musician almost a decade, and I've been attempting to record music for almost half my life. So I can tell you it's an adventure and it's a journey that you embark on in an attempt to find your own authentic sound. And I think some folks find it very quickly, other folks it takes a lot longer. And for me, I feel like it took a decent amount of time, but what you're hearing on Don't Be Scared to Go Outside is me finally self-realizing my own sound for the first time. So it's definitely not the peak of where I plan to go, but it's definitely an important checkpoint in my catalog of music, this record.
Lastly, I think something that matters a lot, even if you don't know Taylor, is how he's working himself out in a lot of these songs. He's very exposed. He's in a very vulnerable place. And there's a reckoning there, but there's also a proximity to the truth, not as a confessional, but just as a humble kind of honesty that lives in there. Him saying, "I'm not a perfect man, but these are my views, and these are my perspectives," and for that, whether I agree with him or not on any of those is completely irrelevant. I think it is just truly refreshing to see someone open up like that in music at a time where most people don't.
I also, when I went to visit Lucas, the first thing we did was we opened up a song. I can't remember which one was it. We recorded some background vocals. I don't know if Taylor knows this. Maybe he's just finding out. But I recorded some background vocals, and I suggested some drum fills in the intro, some stuff. But yeah, I think those ones are my favorites because of also the style, like the tempo and the feel and the vibe. But yeah, it's like a mixture of so many things.
I see a lot baked into the album, to be honest with you. Now that I've had a couple months to step back from it and listen to it as objectively as I can, I see a lot in it. I mean, I see love as a crucial component of it. I see, as Lucas would say, sad hope baked into it in a big way. You know, the idea that you can be beaten up, you can be worn out, you can be on your last leg, and yet a realistic hope and your faith can carry you to a place where you know there has to be some place that's better than where I'm at right now. I think that's gotten me very far in my life, and for some reason at the age that I'm at, it's important to sing about those things. It's important to get that message to people, especially in the time that we live in right now. I was writing a letter to my unborn son the other night. I said, there's one word that I could impose upon you that would be important in your life would be resilience. It's important, my son, to be resilient. And I realized that's a lot of what I'm singing about on this album.
It feels refreshing to hear a contemporary of mine do that in such fashion. I think it's going to be tough to watch this one go, but at the same time I'm very proud of it. It took a long time, about 3 years if I'm correct. Yeah, I could tell you stories about each song, just moments where, you know, they went from being just sessions on my screen or in my CPU to becoming these almost like stories.
I just hope that people connect with the album and the songs on it and maybe even find a thread of themselves in it. I mean, it's one of the only reasons to make and put out albums is to try to connect with the listener. I'm a firm believer that the musician creates out of a sense of a therapeutic source, and if done well, whether that's playing live or on an album, that the listener can digest that music in a therapeutic way. And it's the thing that I got the most from music is the songs and the artists and the albums that had such a tremendous impact and continue to have an impact on me. Those songs provided me therapy in either a time that I was feeling really low or in a time that these songs were the soundtrack of an absolute beautiful memory. They connected to me in that therapeutic way, and I know those artists, when they were creating, had that therapeutic experience as well. So that's what I hope to translate to the people that, whether you're listening to my music for the first time or you've been following from the beginning, I just want to translate a connection to you. It's the best way in the world that I've ever been able to find to connect with people is through my music. So I hope it connects with you.
I'm very, very proud of it. I'm very proud of Taylor. I'm also very happy with how we were able to find someone like Juani, who mixed and mastered the album, because his disposition was always the best. He was always ready to entertain any of our crazy ideas or questions or concerns or whatever. Artists can be very indecisive at times, so I'm very thankful for him as well in the process of getting these tunes to sound as good as they can. It was also very fruitful.
So if you haven't already, mark down on your calendars, Tuesday, December 30th. Once again, that's Tuesday, December 30th. My third full-length studio album, Don't Be Scared to Go Outside, is going to be available on all streaming and downloading platforms. Pre-save, tell your friends, like, subscribe on all the social media pages, and more importantly than that, thank you for all the support on all 5 singles leading up to the release of the record. And if you haven't already, go listen to Other Side of the Bridge, Strangers Again, If It Kills Me, Simple All the Time, and Coming Home, available anywhere that you listen to your music. And don't forget, Tuesday, December 30th, you can download the entire record, Don't Be Scared to Go Outside, anywhere that you download the streaming music. Thanks. Good? We'll be seeing you.
down.